All right, let's do it. We are about to tackle what is, pretty much without a doubt, the most famously difficult book ever written. I'm talking about James Joyce's final, completely baffling masterpiece, Finnegans Wake.
People call this book literature's Mount Everest, and for good reason. It's this swirling, dreamlike text that has been intimidating readers for, nearly a century now? Most people who pick it up, they put it right back down, and fast.
But here's a thought. What if all that difficulty, what if it isn't an obstacle at all, but the entire point? What if Joyce, who is the ultimate puzzle maker, actually left us a key to unlock the whole thing? A really simple, ancient tool that, I'm telling you, once you see it, it changes everything. So what is this tool? It's the riddle. I mean, think about it. A riddle is just a description of something that's meant to make you think of something else entirely, right? This whole idea, this hidden meaning, this verbal trickery, it's basically the secret language of all of Joyce's work. And it is exactly how we are going to crack Finnegans Wake. Okay, but here's the thing. To crack Finnegans Wake, we can't just jump right in. No way. We've got to look at how Joyce used this tool, the riddle, in his earlier, more accessible work. He was basically laying the groundwork, showing us the rules of the game long before he built his final, ultimate puzzle. See, Joyce knew that riddles weren't just some fun little game. In folklore, they were serious business, like life or death serious. If you could solve a riddle, it meant you understood the secret names of things, and that gave you real authority. Riddle contests were basically power struggles. You win, you're the wise one. You lose, well, you're powerless. And we see this play out perfectly in his book Ulysses. The young artist Stephen Dedalus, he poses this riddle. So what's he talking about? Well, the seeds are black ink, the ground is white paper, so the answer is writing a letter. But for Stephen, this isn't a clever game. It's a bitter joke about himself. He can't sow the seeds. He's creatively stuck, totally unable to become the great artist he so desperately wants to be. And this is so important to get. In Joyce's world, your ability to solve riddles, it really defines you. It is the measure of your power. And it's what completely separates the fates of his two main heroes in Ulysses. So on one side, you've got Stephen, brilliant guy, a master of posing puzzles, but he can't solve the big ones in his own life. So he's just frustrated and powerless. But then, on the other side, you have Leopold Bloom. Now, he doesn't go around making up riddles. He actually confronts the ones he runs into, and all day long he just keeps inching closer and closer to some real solutions. And then finally, at the end of his incredibly long day, Bloom has this breakthrough. He solves a simple old riddle. The question is, where was Moses when the candle went out? And the answer? Well, it's so obvious, isn't it? In the dark. And by accepting that simple, dark, kind of inevitable reality, he finds peace. He gains power not by trying to fight the darkness, but just by understanding it. Okay, so the pattern is clear, right? Riddles equal power. Solving them means you get it. You have understanding. So now we can finally take our key and walk right up to the ultimate lock, Finnegans Wake. Now, Joyce uses this key, this riddle idea, in three really distinct ways. First, you've got simple verbal play, just word games. Then he actually uses it as a structure for entire chapters. But the big one, the most important one, is how he uses it to explore the book's central themes. So let's just quickly touch on the first two. On the verbal level, Joyce is just constantly playing around. He'll take a common saying like, is life worth living, and twist it into a pun about the River Liffey in Dublin. Was life worth leaving? See? And structurally, he'll build whole chapters like a riddle contest. You've got this questioner, the cad, confronting the main character, HCE, and HCE's failure to answer just reveals all his guilt and powerlessness. Sound familiar? It's exactly what we saw with Stephen Dedalus. But honestly, that's all just a warm-up. The real reason riddles are so important in Finnegans Wake is thematic. Joyce uses them to ask the biggest questions you can imagine, especially about the nature of the artist and the whole act of creation itself. And this brings us to the absolute central puzzle of the entire book. It's posed by the artist figure, a guy named Shem the Penman, to his siblings. And get this, it's called the first riddle of the universe. So, what is this incredibly profound, universe-defining riddle? It's this. When is a man not a man? Seriously, take a second. What would you say? Well, his siblings have no idea what to make of it. They guess all these totally absurd things. like When the Heavens Are Quakers, or my personal favorite, When Pigs Fly. I mean, they are completely stumped. Of course, they're all wrong. So Shem, the artist, or as Joyce calls him, the doctator, he provides the solution himself. So when is a man not a man? When he is a Shem.
And boom, that one little pun reveals this huge, profound truth at the very heart of the book. A man becomes more than just a man. He transcends his ordinary life when he becomes an artist, a creator, a maker of artificial worlds, of beautiful shams, you see? Just like Joyce himself, creating the sham world of Finnegans Wake. This is the big moment. This is where Shem succeeds where Stephen Dedalus failed. He solves his own riddle, and in doing so, he claims the power of creation.
But wait, this leads us to the final, biggest revelation of all, because this isn't just about one little riddle inside the book. No, it's about the entire book.
And this is really the ultimate takeaway here. The book's legendary difficulty, it's not a bug, it's a feature. It is the entire point. Joyce built Finnegans Wake to be one enormous, gigantic riddle, because that's how he saw the world itself, as the ultimate enigma. The book's form perfectly mirrors what it's trying to say.
I mean, as Joyce himself writes, the world is constantly writing its own runes. That's a pun on runes and wrongs, right? Its own puzzles for us to try and figure out. He saw a world just filled with the signatures of all things, basically just waiting for us to notice the patterns and solve the great riddles of creation. Which leaves us with one final kind of mind-bending thought. If the whole universe is just one grand puzzle posed by some divine creator, then what does that make the human artist? Maybe not just a storyteller, but something else entirely. Maybe the artist is the ultimate riddle solver, the one who deciphers the secret patterns of the world, and then creates brand new ones of their own.